What's up, guys? Frugal BC coming at you today. I'm going to talk about the Algorand governance voting being live. You can actually vote right now through November 15th. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the vote, some new information I've learned, and kind of break down the vote again for you guys now that it's live. So, you know, all that on today's Frugal BC. What's up, guys? Frugal BC coming at you. And before we get into today's episode, I'm going to talk about the Algorand governance vote. But before we get into that, I'd really love it if you guys would like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot, helps out me, and helps out you because you're going to get more information about crypto right in your feed. So you can see all the stuff that we talk about. Here on the channel, we do little mini experiments, and Algorand is one of the ones I've been sticking with for a long time. I do a lot of content on Algorand. And today is a very historic. So we're in a historic period right now because the first vote in Algorand governance is live. So I'm going to share my screen and then we will talk about that. Okay, so as you can see here, we are on the Algorand Foundation's explanation of the two options that you're voting on today. So let's run through them a little bit. Option A is basically everything stays the same. So option A, the rewards for 2022 will be 282 million algos, 70.5 million per quarter. Maintaining the simple locking mechanism, rewards are distributed among governors who vote and maintain the committed algos in their wallet for the entire quarterly period. And if you don't, you lose your rewards, but you don't get any more penalties. So basically, this is the status quo right now. If you vote for this, it's going to work the same way next year as it is right now, where if you commit, like I committed 600 algos, if I go below 600, I'm kicked out of governance for that period. I don't lose any extra money. I just lose the money I would have gained on governance. Now, option B, this is where things get a little different. In option B, the rewards go up next year to 362 million algos, which is 90.5 million per quarter. But there's also a slashing mechanism. So if you fail to vote, or you lose your amount of algo goes below the amount you said you'd commit, you not only will lose the rewards that you were going to get if you kept it in, but you also lose 8% of your committed amount. So in other words, little to no penalty other than not getting something extra versus actually losing money. So you might think, well, what's the big deal, right? But as we've seen, let's pull that up. So I pulled up Algorand stats, and this is it's algorandstats.com. And what this is measuring the number of governors. So right here, this is our rewards that has gone from 3.18% when I first saw this to 3.19 because we've lost governors and we've lost algo. So how much total algo? So far, 5 million Algorand has left the system, has left governance. And 2,252 people have not kept their committed algo. And that is out of, it was in the almost 70,000. Actually, it's more than 70,000. So that's kind of a lot. That's a lot of people already who didn't keep the committed algo that they said they were going to. I'd be really curious to why, again, I asked before, but if you were one of the people who were dropped from governance, tell me why, tell me what happened, because I'm really curious. Because for me, for one thing, when you sign up for this, they give you, if you hit the max button, in other words, committing all your Algorand, they actually set the number to one less than your total Algorand. So basically, even if you hit max, they give you a 1 algo buffer. Now, some people, you can manually override it and commit every single algo in your wallet. But I would really recommend not doing that. As we can see, a lot of people have already dropped out. 2,252 people have dropped. So 5.5 million algo dropped out sounds like a lot, but when you think about there's still more than 1.8 billion. It's a pretty small number. But all those people under the new system will lose their Algorand. Now, do you think that's a good thing? Algorand Foundation does not think that's a good thing. They're supporting option A because they want it to be user-friendly, moderate difficulty for early governors, and a simple algo commitment model. And I can see an argument for that. So it would just be a little more front-loaded with, am I right? Let's see. I mean, I just think it'd be a little more front-loaded if you go with option B, and it rewards you for actually doing the right thing. So that's an argument for B as well. Like, you're supposed to hang on to this. We're not supposed to drop out of governance, right? So, and there really should be no reason to drop out like that. All you have to do is not touch it. Just don't touch it. Does that many people cannot touch their Algorand? I don't understand it. I mean, but also you probably should keep a certain amount. You know, it's obviously it's too late to change anything now, but for next time, you should probably keep an amount of Algorand around, just so in case a project comes up you want to invest a little bit in, or something you want to monkey around with, you got the money there. You want to buy an NFT or something, why not keep some funding available? I mean, you wouldn't want all your money in investments. You want some in cash in case the emergency comes up. And this is kind of the same way. I know some people have talked about, like, well, what if I need it for paying bills? Well, Algorand shouldn't be paying your bills. This should be money that you have extra. This is investment income. Your investment income should be spoken for, and you should only need it in the most dire of emergencies. And if it's a dire enough emergency that you need to touch your algo, well, then you shouldn't care that you're losing rewards, because you got to deal with the emergency. But otherwise, there should be extra money that you don't need for expenses. So I'm just going to put that out there. I'll be honest, I haven't decided if I support A or B. I can see good arguments for both. Obviously, you get better rewards earlier on for participating under B, and that might actually really help, because you'll have more money earlier on, more algos. So if the price goes up later, you've had more time in the market. So that's something to think about too. And you get it now. I always say a bird in the hand now is better than two in the bush, as they say. Well, who's to say I'll even have the time to pay attention to this in 10 years? I mean, who knows? I don't think it's that taxing to do, but sometimes you forget about these things. I mean, the faucet was a great example, huh? I mean, I didn't do the faucet every day. I could have. You can do it every 3 hours, but did I remember to do it? Not really. This isn't quite the same thing. It's a little less time intensive, but yeah, they're really concerned about the governance rewards in 2023 to 2025, and I think, like, well, so what? Why is that such a big deal? I can see why they would want that, because I have less incentive now to participate later on if I take option B than I do if I take option A. So they would, from their perspective, of course they want you. Now you have to decide what's best for you and what might be best for the coin overall. Maybe if people aren't participating, it's entirely possible that it might have some impact on the price, and who knows? Price, people will try to tell you that price predictions is a science, and I will tell you it is definitely not. It's always a guess. You might make a very informed guess, but it's always a guess. So I came across this on Reddit, and I heard earlier on it was neck and neck, but it looks like a lot of people are leaning toward B. So it doesn't look like Algorand Foundation is going to get their way, if this is accurate. There was no link to this, so I'm a little skeptical. But if this is true, it looks like B is much more popular. So interesting. I like the little cartoon. Some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. It's like, well, that's a little dramatic. I mean, you're just losing out on some money. I don't know. It seems a little harsh though, right? So anyway, I just wanted to go through with the vote live now. I wanted to break down some of the arguments for and against, and just kind of look at which way the winds are going. At least according to that, it appears that, Yeah, it appears according to that chart at least that people are uh, definitely leaning towards B. For myself, again, I'm not really sure. I can really see an argument for both ways, but part of me is kind of leaning towards B maybe, because why not just take the rewards right away? Because who knows what's going to happen in the future? I don't know. All right, that's it for Frugal BC. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and leave me a comment. I'd be curious which way you think you're going to vote. Let me know. And if you have reasoning, leave that in the comments as well. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the future.